Welcome to a resume writing video tutorial brought to you by the Career Center at Lawrence University. As you gain more work experience in your field, your education section will tend to fall lower and lower on the resume. However, as a current student or recent graduate, your education is highly marketable and therefore should appear close to the top of the resume, usually immediately after your objective statement. Begin by naming the institution and the degrees that you'll receive. Also include the month and year that you will receive your degree. Your majors and minors should also be included. List your GPA if it is equal to or above 3.0. As I mentioned earlier, you may also want to create additional sections that are related to your education. This example will include a related coursework section. Typically, your high school education should be left off the resume, except under special circumstances. For example, if you're applying for student teaching positions within the same district in which you attended high school, then including your high school information might be beneficial. The education section should be organized in reverse chronological order. Therefore, if you attended another higher education institution prior to coming to Lawrence, that institution should appear below Lawrence. Likewise, if you pursue graduate or professional school after graduation, those degrees would be listed above Lawrence. Before creating the experience section, it would be useful to decide which resume format would best serve your purposes. For this video, we'll start with the chronological format. List your most recent experience first. Remember that both paid and unpaid experiences can be included in this section. The types of experiences to consider including in this section are internships, related part-time or summer jobs, officer or leadership positions within student organizations, as well as long-term related volunteer positions. Begin by listing your position title first. Then list the name of your employer and the city and state where the employer was located. Or, if the name of the employer is more significant, list it first, followed by the position title. Then, list the dates of employment. As in the example that you see, the years you were employed is usually sufficient. For now, leave room beneath the first listed position to include your accomplishments. These are also sometimes called resume phrases or impact statements. Move on to your next most recent experience. As this is an initial draft, include all of your experience, whether you think it's relevant or not. You can always edit out content from your resume. It's much more time-consuming and difficult to add content. Career Center staff can assist you with subsequent revisions to your resume, particularly in tailoring the document to specific positions. Once you've listed all your positions, let's go back to the most recent position and begin writing your accomplishments or resume phrases. Resume phrases are brief summaries of what you accomplished in your position. It is not necessary to list all of your duties. However, in your initial resume draft, you may find it easier to list anything you can remember about the position as a way to jog your memory about your work. Your final draft, however, will include much more concise, tailored resume phrases. Resume phrases are intentionally concise, removing any unnecessary verbiage. Don't be alarmed if your resume phrases are not complete sentences. Start your resume phrase with a past tense verb, a word that describes the action of your accomplishment. For example, coordinated, assisted, summarized, researched, communicated. Refer to the back of your resume packet for a quick list of action verbs. When appropriate, quantify your actions. For example, raised over $1,100 for local emergency shelter, or tutored 6 elementary school-aged children in math and science. The combination format resume is actually easier to write once you have a job target and after you've written a chronological format resume. If you've selected a job target and have written a complete objective statement, you will have already selected 2 or 3 skills to highlight for the employer. These skills in turn become the section headings for the experience section of the combination format resume. For example, if your objective statement reads, an archives internship with a museum where strong research, communication, and technical skills would be assets, Then your skill headings would be research, communication, and technical skills. Looking back over your experience, list resume phrases that demonstrate that you possess each skill. As I mentioned earlier, an effective resume will have clear and distinctive section headings. For example, consider using bold font and all caps to make your section headings stand out. Now let's talk about resume submission. When in doubt, ask the employer for their preference. Increasing numbers of employers prefer resumes to be submitted electronically, either by attaching the resume to an email or uploading the resume to an employer's or third party's website. There are a few different formats that are commonly used when submitting resumes electronically. Most employers will be able to open and read your document. If you created the document in Word, no conversion is necessary. Your resume may appear differently to the employer than it did when you created it. If you created your resume in Word 2007, it's advisable to save your document in the Word 2003 version to avoid problems opening it. There is very little chance that a plain text file will be corrupted. All of your formatting will be lost. Your resume will look exactly the way you intended for it to look. The document cannot be accidentally altered. You will need to convert the document to PDF, and the employer will need Adobe Acrobat Reader installed on their computer. Many newer computers already have this function standard. Your resume should be accompanied by a cover letter. When sending your resume as an attachment in an email, cut and paste your cover letter into the body of the email. When uploading your resume to a website, you may be given the option to cut and paste your cover letter into a text field on the site. These text fields may be called cover letter, comments, or additional information. If such a text box is not available on the site, cut and paste your cover letter above your resume so it appears as the first page of your uploaded document, with your resume appearing on the second page. If you submit your resume in paper format, make sure you print your resume on high-quality bond paper. These can be purchased by the sheet from the Career Center, or you can purchase large quantities from most office supply stores. Some drugstores and mega supermarkets also carry resume paper. Stick to traditional paper colors such as white, cream, or light gray. Be sure to use a laser printer to print the resume. You can use the Career Center's printers during regular office hours. As with electronic resumes, a cover letter should accompany your printed resume. The cover letter should also be printed on matching high-quality bond paper. Remember to sign the cover letter, preferably using blue ink. The cover letter and resume should be folded together accordion style so that the addressee can see their name on the cover letter as soon as they remove the documents from the envelope. By now you should have a resume that includes your name and contact information, a completed objective statement or one with blanks to fill in at a later date, an education section and possibly a related coursework and/or honors section, and an experience section in either chronological or combination format that includes the beginnings of some resume phrases. Keep in mind that in order for the resume to be effective, it will need to be tailored for specific positions. So remember that your resume can include additional sections such as related coursework, volunteer experience, technical skills, activities, or other sections that might be important to the employer. The next step is to set up an appointment with a Career Center staff member who will assist you in tailoring your resume for specific positions and adding the finishing touches to make your resume and cover letter as effective as they can be.